All right, guys, if you're trying to find the best concealed carry bag, holy overconsumption, man. That's a big decision. I mean, you're gonna have to trust your life and more importantly, you know, your Zen pouches, your phone, your wallet. I cannot definitively say that I have the answer for you here, but I do have an answer for me based on the bags that we're gonna look at today. So let's get stuck in it, eh? That was the most anti-American thing I could have said. So I've carried many styles, almost every style of off-body carry bag there is. Some I believe are truly incredible and can really be worth the investment, and others might have some cool marketing features, but might be not worth it. Some are straight up terrible. Point is, none of them are gonna be perfect. Today, I'm gonna help you vicariously through me figure out which one might be a good one for you. Figure out the one that fits for your life, for your circumstances and the needs that you want a bag to fulfill, or I might convince you that you don't want to carry in a bag really at all by the end of the video. So guys, just as with everything in life, and the more modern life gets, the more this trade-off seems to become apparent. Like, you gotta give up something in order to increase the level of convenience. And that is no exception when it comes to carrying a gun every day. When you move it off your waistline, when you move it away from your direct access, and you have to, you know, do a few steps in order to get that thing out. It's slower, it's easy to forget. It's easy to forget how to do it, especially if there are a few steps involved. It's definitely easier to leave behind. I'm not gonna lie, I've had a couple times where I've been like looking for a bag and I'm like, oh my God, did I leave a gun in there? Oh my God, is it at freaking church? But I promise you, I've never like left a gun behind anywhere. Fear is very real. It's potentially easier for someone else to access, especially if you like to do the, you know, the whole whimsy, carrying it behind your back, that kind of thing. It could potentially be more difficult to retain as well. Yet despite all of these downsides, all of the negatives to off-body carry, sometimes it can be the best answer. Sometimes it can be the answer of all time. A lot of the scenarios that I've been finding where off-body carry has been really shining for me have been the scenarios that in this stage of life, I've been seeing a lot more play out. Things like the gym, travel, running, hiking, camera work. When I want to make sure that I can pair medical gear with a firearm. Of course, if you have a hard time concealing, sometimes you're able to get away with carrying a larger handgun, especially if the bag itself, Exhibit A, is a larger bag. You're able to fit something bigger. And then also the dad life. A buddy of mine, a guy in my small group at church, honestly, the guy who put me onto this gun that has probably definitively been the most like life-changing gun for me, the Bodyguard 2.0. He was like, you know what, man, I'm switching to this gun. I know it's 380, blah, blah, blah. I know it's not ideal. And whenever I pick up my kid, or kids, like plural, I don't want little hands and little feet like kicking into the gun and having to worry about all that kind of stuff when it's on the appendix line or even on the hip. Same mentality goes for bag carry. So just like the whole debate of 9mm versus 380, same thing with on-body versus off-body. The best carry method is the one that you're actually gonna use, because the gun that you have, be it in a bag, be it chambered in 380 auto, beats the gun that you left at home. Okay, so before we look at the core bags of the video, I feel like I say bags, I just keep second guessing myself. Let's set up the framework and the parameters for this video and the questions that I want us to kind of be asking as we get through this video essay. But before we do that, I'd love to just disclose some things here. Some awesome supporters of the channel, go ahead, check them out. There's a link down in the description below, with links, codes, things like that to great gear, great people who are making cool things that I think would interest you if you're here. Also, all of these bags were sent to me for free except for one, and that's the Eberl stock Bando bag. I bought that one myself. I cannot in good conscience give everyone a glowing review because there are downsides, there are upsides. So I'm absolutely gonna talk about those. And I have enough bags. The good thing is, I don't need any more bags. So I don't need to get cozy with the companies, and I'd prefer to just give you guys my honest thoughts. Okay, let's get going here. So the first question is to ask yourself, why are you carrying a bag? Why do you want to implement off-body carry? Because I don't think that's where most people start. It definitely wasn't for me until my life circumstances changed, my goals changed, and my body changed. Or at least the way that I realized I could like handle carrying. It could just be for EDC, like you want to daily carry in a bag. It could be a dedicated travel setup. Yeah, it could be for your gym days. Perhaps when you want to go to a more higher risk area and you're like, okay, let's throw some medical into the loop just in case. Maybe not even higher risk, but just like outside of the norm of your routine. Things like that. So for me, I think the answer probably lies more so in the EDC realm. I think I carry off-body probably like, I would say 30% of the time. Mostly it's the times when I'm like trying to get out the door. And so that leads us into our second question that we're gonna be asking ourselves, which is how often will you intend to wear said bag, whatever bag it is. Are you gonna wear it daily? Are you gonna wear it 30% of the time, kind of like me? Weekends only, on trips only. What is the split between, because you can't have the best of both worlds, unless you want like a backpack, and then you lose speed and access. You can't have the best of both worlds. You can't optimize for everything. So do you want to optimize for CCW storage and quick access, or would you rather optimize for fun pockets, pouches, and the ability to store a ton of different things on your body? I think that is definitely a trade-off you're going to be looking at. Another question to ask yourself, how quickly would you want access to the gun? In this video, we do some scientific testing, some serious data, double-blind placebo tests. And by double, I just mean a sample size of 2. This is bag number 1 for draws, quick draws.
That was good.
So that's like probably pushing it for what I could train up to do.
Yeah.
This is so tiny. Like you definitely need a charm or a carabiner or something to give you more of something to grab onto. All right, so we got this in the running configuration, what I would go for a run with. Let's do 4 tests. And no lockback because I think I had a high grip on this. Feel good. Got some slide bite.
Bad grip.
Yeah,
Ow.
nice little slide bite there. Sweet. Last bag, Emerald stock bando bag. Give it that 4 run. I think I got used to it more, so probably those last 2 were more indicative of what you can maybe expect if you trade it up. Get CJ AT3
Oh boy.
on the bags.
Okay, so this is with 0 training on these bags and not my guns. So don't judge me too hard. Ooh. Way slow. I like it. I think it's a cool deployment method. A lot of steps for what it is, I think. There are definitely simpler ways to go. If you're not in a split second, like, I need my gun immediately situation, maybe this one works. Like if you got time to go behind a barrier or something like that. But let's try the other ones. Okay, this is the 945 Industries Q4 982 PL, whatever. I like this one better. I thought that this was a little bit more easy of a deployment method, just thinking about one thing, just rip it out, grab, and go, rather than like the kind of 2 or 3 things you had to figure out with the other one. So, but again, you get that simplicity of deployment for a more impractical setup, I think, for like real world just going around town. All right, guys. Not allowed to say that. Which one is this?
That is the Safer Tactical.
Yeah, that one. Okay, cool. Definitely it's like stylish enough to be just kind of normal. I don't really like having to wear it on my front all the time. That's something that I typically don't do. If I'm wearing a sling bag, I'm usually having it like behind me or kind of slung the other way. So I'd be interesting to see if I could train to get this to be comfortable, like whipping it around and then deploying it. So it is a little bulky. It is a little big. You can get a lot of stuff in here. But as far as deployment, I think this one's the most comfortable so far. Just comes right out. These zippers are really clean, very high quality. They come apart nice and easy while still keeping things secure. Yeah, the extra Velcro, you could get a lot more pieces in there. I like this one the best so far, but let's see what the other one feels like. Okay, this is the Everly stock. Definitely lighter, smaller. It is more normal looking. So I would say my impressions of this one, I like Everly stock. Just in general. But what I would say is because this one is very lightweight and kind of just easy casual, it seems a little flimsier, not in like a cheap way, but just like when I try to go deploy this gun, I'm finding this is like really flimsy, really unstable. So my grip is not very consistent, no matter kind of what I do. So I suppose that's kind of a knock against this one, but overall it's still very lightweight, easy to kind of blend into whatever outfit. The pull tab method is not my favorite one, but it's not the worst one. Overall, I mean, they're all good. I think my favorite one was the one before this one. Which one was that one?
Savior.
That was definitely my favorite. Even though it is big, Ben told me that there's a smaller one. I'd love to try that one.
Okay, the Uber Eats guy came, so I gotta capitalize here. Okay, 5th question. Next one is gonna be, are you carrying off body to try and hide the fact that you're carrying a gun? I think these days the term gray man has been absolutely just bastardized. It's kind of a joke, if you ask me. It's kind of a joke. I'm biased. As someone who's explored the entire spectrum of Gray Man starter kit, looking super tactical, or at least trying to like look like that, all the way over to exploring like fashion and getting into things a little bit. Where do you lie? I mean, you're probably towards the Gray Man side if you're watching this video. And whatever answer that you have for that question, I think like there are definitely bags that will be more of an indicator that you're carrying than others. And then the last question that you want to ask is, what else has to fit in there besides the gun? That's going to determine how big the bag should be, how many pockets it has, how many dividers, organizers. So like, do you want your phone in there, your wallet, your keys, your medical? Probably. Your pocket knife. Do you want snacks and a boo-boo kit? Do you want to carry like a Mophie pack, little battery charger, your AirPods, some good old nicotine pouches? I think that question is one of the ones that narrows down your options pretty significantly, or at least might inform a decision better. So those are the questions. Boom. Take the time to think about it for yourself, because no matter what I say, no matter what bag I determine at the end of this video to be the best one for me, that might not be the same thing for you. But I'm gonna try and explain the pros and the cons distinctively and intentionally, openly, so that you can be like, okay, that pro was actually a con for me, and vice versa. I don't think that I want one perfect bag. I mean, it helps that I was sent these bags for free, but I think where I'm gonna land is with a couple of different options, and we'll talk about the reasons why, the pros and cons of doing that. Let's look at our options today here. We have the Savior Tactical Sling Bag. This is the smaller size that they offer. I'm not gonna be talking about the 5L today, although we did do the like shoot, draw, speed test with the 5L because I couldn't find the 3L for the range day. But presumably having a slightly larger bag, slightly larger controls, albeit the same exact controls, it's the same exact bag, just scaled up. The rest of the carrying experience, I'm gonna be looking at through the lens of the 3L, because this one is just a little bit too big for me. It looks too clownishly big on my smaller frame. So if you're a bigger guy, you might wanna just go ahead and straight up consider this one, especially if you want to carry a much larger gun, or carry it in a sidecar holster setup. Okay, so that's the Savior equipment bags that we have. Next, looking at Victos bags. I love these bags. I think they have a really great build quality and silhouette. The materials feel a little bit more high-techy, a bit more fashion forward if you would ask me. And so this is one of their sling bags. A lot of people have been calling it a purse, perhaps, you know, but I think it's cool. One of the other Victos bags that runs a similar type of drawing system where you access the gun. And we're not gonna be looking at this one because this is a very different style of bag. Although I think this one is a great option for like going to work, perhaps dad diaper bag setup situation. But and this bag typically is the one that I do reach for when I am going to the office, although I'm not usually carrying in this bag. Next up, we got the 945 Industries, 945 Industries, 940, I don't know what they call themselves. The QAPL, this is their medium-sized bag. And this one is very modular. It's the most modular bag out of the four. And so we'll kind of break down my specific use case that I really like to use this in. So yeah, that's definitely a cool one. And the last but not least is gonna be the Eberl Stock Bando bag. This one's not like the extra large one. I don't know, I think they have different sizes. And this is the only one that I bought. So I have had time behind each of the bags carrying different guns in them. So I'm gonna just like go throughout categories of things that are important to me in a bag and talk to you guys about which one ranks number 1 to number 4, like best to worst for me. So analyzing from the perspective of exterior, let's walk through each bag individually. For the Victos bag, this is my favorite one. This one looks my favorite because it's the one that looks like you are least likely to be carrying a gun in this bag, and to me that's important. In terms of comfort, I would probably rank this bag as number 3 out of the 4s. That's because it has the thinnest strap out of any of the bags, but being a smaller bag, you're not able to pack it out as heavily weight-wise, so even though it's a more uncomfortable strap to carry, that weight limitation kind of buys it some leeway in terms of comfort. Looking at materials, I gotta put this one at number 1. I just really like it. It feels like the most premium bag because the texture of the outer material is hard to describe. It feels like almost rubbery and texturized versus your typical like nylon bags, Cordura, whatever, being pretty slick. And I do love the texturing of the branding on that strap. I think that's super subtle. It kind of reminds me of some of the 2016, 17 streetwear crossbody bags that you would see, and I'm a pretty big fan of that. Looking at organization, I would rank this as probably number 3 out of the 4, honestly. Your gun pouch is pretty dedicated, and you can't fit a very large gun in here. So the Bodyguard 2.0, I can fit it with the 12-round mag and a red dot. I can fit my Kimber CDS9, which is a thicker gun, with a 10-round magazine and a red dot, but anything much bigger than that, you're gonna run into some issues probably. I'm also able to tuck kind of down here a quick clot pack as well as an ETQ tourniquet for quick access to stow those, and they don't impede my draw, they don't get in the way when I pull up this pouch. I like how it pops up. I think that's pretty slick, because it gives you a really solid area to get your 3 fingers in so that you're not, you know, bumped up against it trying to tuck things in there, costing you precious seconds. So you are able to organize a little bit with that front gun pouch and throw in some medical, but with the organization kind of mainly thinking about and considering the EDC stuff, your phone, your wallet, stuff like that. It's got some options. I mean, it's a smaller pouch, so you have 2 elastic bands here that you can put a pen, a Tide stick, chapstick. Oh, cop that actually. You got 4 of those elastic pouches. You could stick a shotgun shell in there, you know? There's a bigger, deeper pouch that could hold a phone. For me, it's just got some cash right now. You could throw in whatever you can think of. It's got, that's the pouch that has the depth to it. There's another like little pocket here that could hold it. Holds a journal quite well. It holds Band-Aids quite well. Really thin snacks and thinner items. It retains those nicely. And then one little net here that doesn't really hold all that much. And if you stuff it really thickly or like widely, it makes it hard to close the bag. So the organization is there, it's been thought through, but it's not the best of the bunch. For me, the biggest advantage of the bag being the small size is also its biggest disadvantage when it comes to the organization side. All right, next up, looking at your QAPL. Talking about exterior, this bag I use pretty much only in the chest rig configuration where you throw it on here, and these guys can unclip and hook onto the sides, onto the, yeah, I guess just the sides. And then these lower supportive straps to help with weight there can come completely off. They don't have to be on here. Technically, none of the straps do. So that's kind of cool how modular it is. But it does look the most tactical, the most I'm carrying a gun because it looks like a chest rig. So for me, this is the running bag. This is the gym bag. Although as you can see, my gym's right here. So when I go for runs and I want to carry a gun, this is what I'm going to be bringing. Just because the rest of the bags would be bouncing around and not really hugged in close to the body. For looks, I would put this, especially when it's worn in crossbody, but I don't really like having to unclip the clips and change it all up, especially when I have other options at my disposal. So I'm gonna keep this one dedicated. The holster was sent to me by 945 Industries too. This one's for a Bodyguard 2.0. It conceals wonderfully in there. I do throw the tourniquet, I do throw the quick clot in there, and that's the bad day pouch. It is right hand and lefty friendly. So it has the quick access little flaps that are kind of an indicator that, yo, I got a gun in here. So that's not ideal, but it's got them for both sides. The materials are premium. It's Cordura, all American made. For organization, it's pretty solid. It's very solid. Not the crazy best. I would probably say tied for second or third place. It has a back pocket that can hold a lot of things. And it has a front pouch that can hold a lot of things. Very fanny pack-esque, so nothing too stand out there. And yeah, a great bag overall. Next up is looking at the Savior equipment bag. This one is the coolest one carry-wise for me. As you guys saw in the footage, it's definitely the fastest access for me to get the pistol online. I do like how it looks, although it looks a little bit bulky just because of the style of bag it is, but this is kind of a trendy look. But the kind of carrying in your front on your chest, it looks cool. I do like sometimes having it on the back, but obviously the padding is not optimized for that when the strap's just gonna ride on you, and you're gonna lose that quick access feature, so you're gonna probably double your draw times if it's on your back and you have to flip it around. Comfort, I'm gonna put this at number 1 because of that extra padding that you get here throughout the strap. That's a game changer. And then on the back here as well, you get some nice comfy cushioning, so it feels like you're being hugged. Materials are premium. I'd probably put it at number 2, honestly. Probably even above the 945. I just like the texturing. I like textured bags. You get a little Velcro slot here to throw on whatever little badge, emblem, fun thing you want, so that can rip right off. To me, I'm a big fan of the heat shrunk zippers, so that puts it a little bit above the 945 to me. They just feel good in the hand and they look kind of cool. As well as the zippers just look like they're more robust and reinforced than some of the other bags. Organization, this one is #1 for sure. So obviously the gun pocket is pretty big. Within the gun pocket, you have the loop style Velcro that you can put any Velcro accessories on both sides. So really a lot to work with there. And then you get like a simulated belt. So this is for when you have a holster that only has clips. You don't got one with Velcro backing, although this one from TXC holsters, you are able to get a little Velcro paddle attachment for it. But let's say you don't have it. So you can throw in your holster and just run the clip right on over that belt loop right there, like that, and now you're good to go. This little paddle pushes the gun out, tips it out, so that when you go to grab it, you're able to tuck your fingers behind it a little bit better. I think the carry experience was very, very well thought out on this bag, hands down, and it does kind of impress me. And then where it really shines EDC organization-wise is gonna be, you have a front pocket here, where you can put your keys on, you can like hook them onto this little guy, and then you get this big organization pocket where you can throw something behind this flap. The pocket journal worked really well for me. You get 2 large elastic bands to retain something. You get another pocket on the front end here, and then you get 2 more meshy pockets that go all the way down that you can throw things in, as well as just the big mouth that you can kind of dump pouch style toss crap in there. So this one I think is the most dad friendly if you have to ask me, and it's gonna be the one that I'm reaching for most likely on a consistent basis. Next up, you got the Eberl stock. This one is my least favorite bag. I just have to be honest. Accessing the gun was the slowest. The pockets are fine, like they're well thought out, but it just feels not as exciting as any of the other bags. One advantage is you do get loop on both the gun pocket as well as the like main storage pocket. You do get that backside, kind of like the 945 Industries one, pocket here, but it's not as modular as the 945. Granted, the 945 is not a cheap bag, so it commands a higher price tag, but I love Eberl stock, I love Eberl stock bags. I just don't think that this one is gonna cut it for me. I think it's not gonna be the one. So hopefully you got a good enough look at the bags that we analyzed today. Obviously there's no #1 winner, but for different categories of what you would want it for, of what I want these for, I think there are some definite winners, such as when you just want to grab the gun and medical, maybe a couple other things, but discretion is what you are looking for. I think this Victos bag, absolutely, I'm reaching for it probably the most. When I want the speed along with the capability and the absolute kind of clown car storage system here, the Savior one is a no-brainer. When the modularity is prioritized, when I'm going for a run, trying to get a workout in, and I want this thing sucked into my chest, retained really comfortably and positively, 945 all the way. You could argue if you just wanted one bag, this would absolutely be the most versatile. And honestly, I can't really see a place where this bag shines. I mean, sure, if you want a close to the 945 experience for a much cheaper price tag, perhaps the Eberl stock, but it does lack some of the features that I'm really looking for, like speed and access, organization, etc. Hope you guys liked the video. Hope that we're shifting our mindsets between like, what's the best bag, period. I'm starting to think about what problem are you trying to solve and realizing that there are so many different options out there. Same thing with guns. That's why the channel exists. Like there are so many options that are really good and really solid and reliable and that get the job done. But now we're getting into that pretty autistic level specialization of what does this specific product focus on and what problem does this really get down to the details of solving for me. So cool guys, I'd love to hear from you how you think about off-body carry, what bags you're looking at, what bags you're carrying, if this video played any role in a decision that you're trying to come to yourself. Yeah, sound off in the comment section below. Let's start a conversation there. God bless you and your families. Thanks to all you guys for your time here. I really appreciate you. Stay safe out there, stay fit, train hard, and we'll see you in the next video.